Fuel and petrol and diesel prices were hiked by 80 paise a litre each today. This is the fourth increase in 5 days as oil firms pass on to consumers the spike in the cost of raw material. Global crude prices have been soaring as the war in Ukraine prolongs indefinitely. Himanshu joining us with the latest on that. Himanshu, the fourth such hike in 5 days, and even now, actually, oil firms are probably going to continue these hikes because the differential is still about, 9 rupees a litre or something. So more worries for consumers ahead?
Of course, yes. And yesterday, in fact, when this question was put before Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, when she was replying to the debate on finance bill, this is exactly what she had said. She said that there is a war-like situation. If oil companies are procuring crude oil at a higher rate on a 15-day average, then we will have to bear. Then she said the impact of Ukraine war is on all the countries. The global supply chains have been disrupted, particularly of crude oil. And if the finance minister says in parliament that we'll have to bear the rising cost of the crude oil, that essentially means that as the uncertainty grows, or as long as the uncertainty continues around the Ukraine war, the volatility in international crude oil market will continue to influence the price of petrol and diesel in India. Now, Ankita was just looking at the data. Just a minute back, the benchmark Brent crude oil index was trading at above US $119 per barrel, which is a very high price. And remember, they seem to have got stabilized in this price band, $117, $118, $119, though at one time they even went up to $130. And what this essentially means is, if oil companies have revised the price of petrol and diesel for the fourth time in last 5 days, they've essentially gone back to the daily price revision mechanism in which the prices of petrol and diesel are changed daily, on a daily basis, in line with the changes and the trends in the international crude oil market. So as you yourself just now informed the viewers that the uncertainty about the Ukraine war, the tensions, the economic sanctions that have been imposed on Russia, all this has actually complicated the existing trends in the international crude oil market. And as long as the uncertainty continues, or if the uncertainty grows more, you will see more volatility, and that would mean that more pressure on oil companies to increase price of petrol and diesel in India. So bad days, I think, and I think we'll have to get ready now to face, to start living in an age where the petrol and diesel prices will continue to increase at the present pace that we have seen in last 5 days.
Well, the last 4.5 months when there was a hiatus in rate revision was clearly a departure from the norm, and consumers really feeling the pinch now. Himanshu, thanks so much for joining us with those latest details. Well, it's obviously a huge burden on consumers, on travelers, particularly on those who need more fuel. Let's take a look at voices around the country.
अगर ये पेट्रोल के दाम वगैरह बढ़ते हैं तो इसमें भी कोई एक रीज़न है पर्टिकुलरली, मैं ये नहीं बोलूँगा कि ये सरकार गलत कर रही है. एक पर्टिकुलर रीज़न हो सकता है पीछे, क्योंकि जो पुराना चलता हुआ आ रहा है पीछे से इतने सालों में, पिछले गवर्नमेंट ने रूल करा है, जो लोन सरकार के उस पर है पिछला क्रूड ऑयल का, जो वो आपका एग्रीमेंट साइन हुआ था मनमोहन जी की सरकार के द्वारा क्रूड ऑयल के रिगार्डिंग, तो तब से उसका वो बियर साइकोसिस पूरा इसी वजह जो करंट सरकार है वो बियर कर रही है. बट हाँ, कम होने चाहिए प्राइसेस.
बढ़ेगा तो फिर जेब पे असर पड़ेगा ही. तो ऑयल के रेट तो वैसे अब लड़ाई के चक्कर में बढ़ ही रहे डेली. यहाँ तो फिर भी कम है, बाहर तो और ज़्यादा हो गया.
पेट्रोल बढ़ने से आम जनता की जेब पे बहुत फ़र्क पड़ा है, और जो गरीब तबका है, जो बाइकों पे चलता है, गाड़ियों में चलता है, बसों में चलता है, हर चीज़ का किराया बढ़ेगा. जो उनकी सैलरी बढ़ नहीं रही है, आर्थिक मंदी की वजह कोई भी बहाना है, सैलरी बढ़ नहीं रही है, और जो महंगाई इतनी बढ़ रही है, पेट्रोल के दाम बढ़ रहे हैं, तो फ़र्क तो पड़ेगा. जब मैंने बाइक ली, जब 500 रुपये में ये टंकी फुल होती थी, ये पिछले साल 1.5 साल पहले की बात है, और अब 609 रुपये में फुल हो रही है.
बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट है, खास करके हम मिडिल सेगमेंट वाले जो लोग हैं उनके लिए. 80 पैसे पर डे 3 दिन में 2 रुपीज़ 40 पैसे पर लीटर डीजल बढ़ चुका है. तो हम लोगों के लिए तो जी महंगाई की मार है. बजट हिलाने वाली चीज़ है हमारे गृहस्थी की, और ये सरकार मिडिल सेगमेंट के द्वारा ही बनाई गई है. मेनली हमारा काफ़ी सपोर्ट रहा है, तो मैं चाहूँगा गवर्नमेंट इस पर कुछ करे.
Well, what is it exactly that the government can do? Well, this was the finance minister's response on the fuel price hike.
People have been saying, how could you raise taxes? How could you raise the fuel price? How could you? Sir, global situation, warlike situation is not a time when we are looking at raising, and it has nothing to do with the election time. If the oil marketing companies, the oil ministers seated here, think that they're procuring on a 15-day average higher rate, obviously we will have to bear. And this war, which is happening in Ukraine, the impact of that is on all the countries. Supply chains are disrupted.